The plan for today is Vjekoslav Krajačić, who made FilePilot, will show us a little bit about his codebase, how he does things, some parts about architecture, some parts about like specific systems, and then we will attempt an implementation of a small feature. I have no idea what this feature will be actually, so we'll see, including me. I will be surprised what will happen. We will get to see how Vjekoslav works when he's left to his own devices, how it happens, how the magic happens. Okay, Vjekoslav, do you have something to say in the beginning?
Yeah, it's not magic. I mean, you overhyped it. I'm afraid people will be disappointed. But thanks.
Nice. So, let's start with like an overview of the product itself. FilePilot is a file manager, but also a utility to search through files. It's a file manager on Windows that works, which cannot be said about File Explorer. And why have you made it? What's going on there?
I mean, you answered the question. Pretty much because of my frustration with existing file managers, including File Explorer. But I don't know, I just saw a good opportunity in this space. Although there's a lot of alternative file managers, at least on Windows. I'm not sure what's the state of file managers on Linux and on macOS, but on Windows there's a lot of file managers, and I've used most of them, some of them full-time while I was working on other projects. And I don't know, they are fun. Some of them are better, but a lot of them are just showing age. And I don't know, I wanted something that's simple and nice looking and fast. The speed was the main concern. My goal was never to make something that's how should I say it? I was never trying to make something that's, when you open it, you are like scared of too many buttons and too many controls. I wanted to make something very simple. And a lot of file manager alternatives, when you open them, like you have a lot more UI components on the screen than a regular File Explorer. And I think that's probably one of the main reasons why none of those file managers took off as something like mainstream. That's my, at least, thought on it.
Nice. I would invite you to share your screen now. Show us the FilePilot as it is when it's built as an application, the product side of it, before we jump into the code and the low-level part.
Okay. Touchscreen.
Already people in the chat saying like, why not Linux? Is LS not enough?
Yeah, LS is not enough for people who are not using consoles. And just to be clear, I'm not trying to compete with command prompt utilities. Not on Windows and not on Linux. If you're expert in command line, I don't know, you probably don't need FilePilot. You're not the target audience for FilePilot.
Such a good salesman, Vjekoslav. Come on.
Thank you. How many viewers did we lose?
But to be honest, I use command line for 10 years of my life while working command line, pretty much only. And I still love FilePilot when I work on Windows and I need to search for files. It's way easier to do than like start to type a command and think through what should be the regex for my files. You just type it in and you do Control E and you have the recursive search and everything works and it's fast and it's immediate and you see the feedback and you want to preview a PNG, you press a goddamn spacebar. That's so cool. Hi everyone. Let me take a break to thank members of the show who made this conversation possible. Members get earlier access to videos, including longer unedited footage from live streams, as well as they're invited to our private Discord server. If you want to support this show, there is no better way than becoming a member on YouTube or Patreon. Thank you so much.
yeah, it's getting even better. So the next release is finally featuring the tree view, something that a lot of people have been asking for a lot of time. So you can
is it possible to make it bigger? Or
no,
the
it's not possible to make it bigger. Okay. I don't have such feature to increase the font size.
So let's put...
I was kidding, of course. Is this better?
Yes. Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I can give a quick tour, but I suppose that a lot of people who are watching already know what a file pilot is. So it's basically a file manager which displays files and folders. It's a great pitch, I know. The main selling point is speed, of course, and I just wanted everything to be very snappy and fast. I don't mean just like the indexing speed. I mean like everything. The UI should be fast. Everything should be very accessible and snappy and stuff like that. Features that people would expect in 21st centuries, like tabs and panels and I don't know, command palette, stuff like that.
Ability to easily re-hotkey whatever you want to something else.
Rebind hotkeys, batch renames, I don't know.
This is a preview thing. Like we're one step to code editor in FilePilot. It's just one step.
I think
at some point you'll be like, this read-only view. I just want a tiny little bit of editing, and then it's like code editor happened.
I think that Ryan is closer than me to that goal. His text editor is more advanced than mine.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Did I miss any feature that's specific to FilePilot?
Probably 100 of them, but that's enough of an overview, I think.
Yeah.
Nice. Then, how can we turn to the code, and can we do a bit of a high-level overview of how FilePilot works in terms of like subsystems, meaning like what you combine the blocks together to achieve? What kind of graphics library do you use? What kind of UI components? Is it Qt based? How much signals and slots you have? All sorts of things.
Okay. First of all, is this too tiny? It probably is.
Yes.
Okay. Is this better?
I would increase it like 10 times more.
Is this better? Like I need some space to work on, you know. I mean, I can do it like this, but I probably won't get far.
Perfect. You can go back a little bit, yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, one of the features of FilePilot that people are bringing up is that it's a single executable file, and it's I think 2 megabytes now.
Yes, the release version is 2 megabytes. The debug version is 2.8.
Ay.
I know.
Man,
I know.
Storage costs.
Yeah, it's a bloat. So the high level overview. Not sure where should I start. I guess I can show you like my source tree first. So this is something that I showed last year on Better Software Conference. So I use very few files on purpose because it makes it easier for me to organize my code. So the Codebase is basically split into a couple of layers. There's a platform layer, which is currently Windows layer, and that's literally 2 files. Then there's renderer part, it used to be OpenGL only, and we added support for DirectX in last version, which is still not public. So yeah. Then there's a program layer, and this part is that's a platform agnostic part of the code, and maybe 80% of code lives here. So if anyone is going to ask me, will I port it to Linux and macOS? The answer is yes, hopefully. I hope to start on it this year. I'll see how it goes with Windows version. But yeah, when I start working on other platforms, the only thing that I need to change is these two files. Hopefully, we'll see. And then there are a couple of libraries that I use, and those are usually just single header libraries. And yeah, these are just some tools. So most of the code lives in program layer, but even here, like I have maybe 10 files. So it's not much.
So these 10 files are 80% of your code base.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you measure lines of code for everything?
Last time I did it, it was around 100,000 lines of code.
Okay. And you have entire renderer here, like everything.
Yes, I have like the OpenGL renderer, and I have direct 3D renderer. Okay, this is really too huge for me. And as you can see, like OpenGL renderer is like less than 1,000 lines of code. And the same is true for DirectX. So that part, yeah. But this is only the lowest part of the renderer. So everything that goes on top of it is living in separate files. So this is like platform specific code for pushing data to GPU.
So this is textures and
vertices and stuff like that, shaders.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have any frame buffer code related to like OpenGL and like frame?
Do you mean if I use frame buffers?
Yes, like for sort of post processing and stuff. 700 lines. It's to me like super tiny.
I don't do any post processing, but I do use frame buffers for some other reasons. Like if I have a window on top of, for instance, in File Pilot, when you do this window is rendered in a separate frame buffer, so I can animate it with alpha nicely. But that's pretty much it. There's no advanced stuff. I don't do like frost the glass and stuff like that Ryan likes.
Okay, fair enough. 700 lines for OpenGL and 1K for DirectX, the renderer backend.
Yeah, but as I said, this is the minimum stuff that I need for communicating with GPU. The actual rendering stuff is in this file, and this one is a bit more bigger. It's 6,000 lines of code, and here's definitions. So maybe 7,000. It's not that big. So this is more like UI layer. So how to draw actual UI elements and create vertices and textures from it and send it to the GPU. So this is the part that is the same for all platforms. So yeah, that's my rendering part, and this is Windows part. So this is platform specific code. It's nearly 20,000 lines of code. So this is only Windows only code. And yeah, the rest is pretty much lives here. This is like 55,000 lines of code in one file. And I think I showed on my last presentation a tool I use to auto-generate definitions, and so this is that file for program.c. So these are all functions that I use, and as you can see, I tried to separate them in some groups. So it's not like I bash function in any order here. I do try to keep some things organized. So if I were to use multiple files, then things like this would probably go into its own file. But I just don't see any obvious benefit for that. Maybe if I was not a one-man team, splitting things into multiple files would probably be smarter, just because there are less collisions when people change the same file. But other than that, I really don't see a reason to split it yet. I don't know. We'll see. One of the reasons why this is not ideal is actually Vim, which is starting to get sluggish on this amount of lines of code, but it's okay. It's still okay.
You use graphical Vim for Windows, right?
Yeah. I mean, graphical. It's almost the same as command line. The only difference is you can use mouse. I don't know. That's pretty much it. I don't know. It looks better.
Just so you can tell people that you stay away from command line as much as possible.
I mean, yeah, it's not like I'm afraid of it. It's just I don't want to be dependent on something like that in 21st century. I understand there are jobs who depend on it, like if you're a system administrator or something like that. Okay, that's fine. But I honestly don't understand the flex that a lot of Linux users are posting online, like everything is in command line. I don't know. Okay, fine. If that's your thing, I think we should do better with UIs. I agree that UI is terrible for the most part, but I think the solution to that is not transition all tools into command line. We should just make better UI tools.
What an odd thing to say.
I know.
4 months after Cloud Code and all the CLI tools were released for programming, but that's actually an interesting spin to ship products now in terminal. So that's very interesting what happened recently. But I get that. I want to sneak in a couple of questions from the audience that already happened. One is, do you only use MSVC so far to compile it as a toolchain?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just too lazy to try using Clang for now, but yeah.
How fast does it compile?
In debug mode, it's around 2-3 seconds. Let's try it again. So 3.5 seconds. Oh, I have it open. Maybe that's it.
It's
a few seconds. Yeah, it's 3 seconds in debug mode. Yeah.
You mentioned we at some point. You said we, not I. Are you working solo on this project, or you have a team?
When did I say that? Yeah, I'm working solo for now. I did have some
royal we. Okay.
Yeah, I did have some help along the way with the UI, and I mentioned a couple of times the Ivan. He's the guy from Croatia too. He helped me with the logo and the name and UI polish. I had some help from Ben Business and Asaf regarding backend services for purchasing and stuff like that. But other than that, the main development is still one-man team. I hope I didn't miss someone. If I have, please forgive me.
Didn't you have also a little bit of help for the shader part with?
From Sandwich Maker, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. I'm sorry, Sandwich Maker. Yeah. You were a huge help for me.
We got him. Okay. I rudely interrupted you. We can continue on the overview. I think.
Oh, right. Someone mentioned Dmitry. I don't know how I forgot him. So Dmitry was the guy who helped me with user-facing stuff with respect to licensing and prices and stuff like that. So he was a huge help in that respect. So I don't know. Some people might be mad because of that, because if Dimitri wasn't there, File Pilot might cost $15 instead of, yeah. But yeah, he was also a huge help.
This is a good point to also talk a little bit about licensing, because right now File Pilot is in a free beta, but it's a paid product. So maybe we can take a moment to discuss that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the only reason why I started taking optional pre-orders is because I was developing File Pilot for 3.5 years on my own budget, and I saw that I will not be able to finish it to the point of where I can call it version 1. And I was just running out of money, and so I basically, instead of pushing it like version 1, I pushed beta, and I opened purchases and tell everyone, if you want to support the project early on, you can pre-order the File Pilot, and you get some discount. And yeah, and I was actually kind of surprised that the sales were great, and the sales are still great. So yeah. It's really amazing that people are recognizing that the effort that went to this project.
And it's kind of incredible to see how many people are actually willing to pay for software that works flawlessly, and given that they have free alternatives in the operating system like File Manager, but it just sucks, and you want to use something better. And
I mean,
live a happy life.
If you like, whenever there's an article about file managers on Windows and File Pilot is mentioned, like if you go to the comment section, the first comment will be like, "That much money for file manager, it's absurd." And yeah, I can't help it. If you try it and you find it helpful and it genuinely improves your productivity, then I don't think there's a money that you will not be willing to pay for it. So yeah.
Nice. Getting into the technical stuff, do you have any conventions on overarching like habits that you do with the Codebase, like top level? We can start with like memory allocation arenas. I can see like pointers to arenas everywhere.
Yeah, so I like to code according to the clean code principles. No, sorry, that was a joke. So yeah, I mean, I explained a little bit of it in my presentation. So probably the biggest part is memory approach. So instead of using a lot of allocations via new or malloc, I use memory arenas for the most part. I use my own strings. I use my own collections like arrays and hash maps. I mean, I pretty much wrote everything myself. Not because I mean, the main reason for that is I wanted to control everything, and I hope that shows both in executable size and speed and in general. So it's a bit rough when you start it, because you have to develop all the pieces, and but after a certain point, like it becomes so good that you don't want to go back. And yeah, now if I were to start a new project, I would have a lot of base stuff that I could reuse from File Pilot. For instance, like the stuff that I was talking about on the Better Software Conference presentation. So most of that stuff lives, the base layer lives in one file, which I called void star, and that's 8,000 lines of code. So this is like memory arenas and everything else pretty much. And it's a single header library, so that file I can just plug and play in different projects and it works. Other stuff are more specific to file pilot, so I would have to think if I can reuse those. Yeah. What was the question?
Generally about conventions and like high-level habits and standards you have in your code base.
I don't know. So I like the exploration-based programming, how Casey framed it. So I'm not trying to be too smart when I'm doing new stuff. I just code the thing that I need, and after the fact, after it's working, I try to like massage it a bit into place to better fit with other pieces of the code. Other than that, I don't know. I don't have any special rules how big functions should be or stuff like that. So I use C, so obviously I don't use classes and stuff like that. Object-oriented programming, so I don't use any of that. It's pure procedural programming, and yeah, I don't feel any burden. I don't feel any burden in like in a way that my code is too abstracted right now. So whenever I need to add something new, I don't feel like I have to search too long for the places in code where I need to add stuff because it's pretty simple. So you pretty much go to this file, and this is all the code, all the functions. You can literally just start by going to the main loop code, and everything goes from there. So this is a tick function, update and render. So this gets called each time something is changed, and it gets passed in some params like input and other stuff like that. And then first it resolves all the input. After that it executes commands. I will probably get into that later when we implement a feature. And after that it just does some update on everything that's live. And in the end it just begins drawing UI. That's this part. So this function is a bit top level, so you're not seeing actual code here. So this function is only like dispatch is pushing the control flow to the other functions. So it's a high level overview of how everything is updated and redrawn each frame. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything else lives in other functions. So yeah, I'm not sure if there's a reasonable approach which I can use to like go through the whole architecture now. It would probably take too long. I don't know if there's anything that people are interested in, or I can just maybe start coding the feature and people can ask that.
I think we can start with the feature. I have a lot of questions and like things that we could spend time looking at, but maybe for the sake of time, we could get into the implementation now, and then definitely at the end there will be some time for questions also from the audience and chat. So we can do it then.
Okay. So I had two features in mind, and both of those features are, I don't know, they are a bit smaller. I didn't want to start something big. Like I obviously didn't want to start working on macOS version, like I said on Twitter. So because I didn't want to start something and not finishing it on stream, it would be lame. But the features I'm going to try to implement, I haven't implemented implemented them before. So the features I'm going to try implement are the ones that are on the roadmap. So they are literally going to be in the next build.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not a throwaway thing. It's an actual feature.
I
you
don't
also
know.
have
Actually,
2 of them.
Actually, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
There is a question about zooming in terms of the font. I don't know if it's possible to increase the font.
So it's too small, right?
Like, okay. If you will not be able to continue with this font size, then we will revert. Okay.
Is this better?
I actually can do also this bum, but I am hidden. But it's slightly better. So I need the chat confirmation whether you wanna see only Vjekoslav.
People are complaining about encoding, YouTube encoding.
YouTube encoding is hard to read. Okay, now it's a little bit bigger with Vjekoslav. I will be there in the edited video, so it's fine. I increased you. I know you were overlaid on the code, so it's fine.
Okay. So the first feature I wanted to implement is something that was kind of surprising to me. I never thought of that idea before. So for those who use FilePilot, there's a annoying problem when you want to right click on a background, on a directory background to get background folder right click context menu. And this is one of the reasons why there's this extra space that gets put when you scroll all the way down. You can actually turn that off. I don't know, how's that called? I forget. Scroll beyond last item. Yeah, you can turn that off if you want. But it was beyond. It was basically added so that you get some extra space when you need to right click on the background. And there are other ways to you can like hunt and pick pixels on the left, or you can zoom to other views. But there was one proposition. I think someone on the Twitter mentioned that, and I was kind of blown away. I don't know. Maybe it's stupid. Maybe it's not. So they suggested that maybe we could add so. In details view, you can see the columns for types and date modified and stuff like that, and you can add other columns here. So what they proposed is maybe we could add like an empty column, so that you can add empty column here or a couple of them, and you can like make your own empty space in between the columns. And I was like blown away. I don't know. I never saw that feature anywhere in any other file manager. So this is something that's been sitting on my to-do list for a long time, and I've been doing like other more important stuff. So I will be abusing this stream to make something fun. So yeah, I don't know how that sounds to you.
Nice. That's awesome.
I hope it's not too hard feature to add. I don't know. We'll see.
The fact that we'll check and evaluate whether it's too hard or not right now live, it adds additional flavor.
Yeah. And I don't know if people understood me, but yeah, we'll see. So the first thing I want to mention is that FilePilot Codebase it's pretty large for a one-man team already, and oftentimes I forget which parts of the code I wrote and when. And so the useful thing for me is when I want to go searching for the place where I could start working on this feature is actually trying to find the place where the UI input is triggered. For instance, when I right-click on date modified, I wanna see where does this pop-up get created, and at this moment I actually don't remember it, because there are a lot of pop-ups in File Pilot. So the best thing I can like pop into my memory is like, I know that this header, column header, is one function, and I can find that function probably easy, and from there on I can probably trace where the input is happening. So okay, I'm just gonna leave this in case we need it. So okay, I have a lot of functions for rendering the panel stuff. So not the quick context, quick access, but just the panel. And those functions are here under render section. So the border, the base, the tabs, the header, and we probably need the column header. So this is it. So this is the part that we need for that's responsible for rendering this part. Okay, and so I can already see here that I have a hard-coded column types, and this is also one of the features that I plan to add in the future. A lot of people ask me to add support for adding custom columns, and so at some point I'll have to probably rewrite this part a bit differently. But for now, I have these column types. These are actually not column types as an enum. Those are language identifiers. Let me try to find the part that I need. So if I'm trying to find an input event, the best way would be just to search for UI interaction. That's a struct that gets used from the UI layer for everything that's clickable or draggable in the UI. I don't know how intuitive to the people this will be now, because they don't necessarily know how UI is built in File Pilot. I could go and give a quick crash course on that, or I could just continue with the feature. I don't know.
I think you can continue, and then if something comes up, I would be like, maybe we can stop and like do like 2-sentence overview. Okay,
so I'm just gonna search for interaction that spawns the pop-up. Oops, no, I've it's a bit harder when letters are so big. Filter types, column block. Nope. I can also search for this. This could be it. So yes, when you right click, so this is basically handling interactions for each of these UI blocks, and you can query for right click, middle click, and left click. And so on the right click, if interaction is triggered, I basically push a command, and this is something that I mentioned earlier. So this is a rendering part of the code, and when user clicks on something, so for instance, when I right click here, I don't want to change the state in the middle of the renderer code, because that could leave the state in inconsistent state. What I'd rather do is whenever something happens in the middle of the UI, I want to push that as a command that will get executed at the end of the frame. And so this is what's happening here. So when this gets triggered, I push a command with this ID, and then I add a couple of arguments for that command. So this is basically passing a context of what happened when you click this. And so now I can easily just select this and find that command where it's executed. And so this case is triggered in the function proc execute command. So this is the function that we saw earlier in the main update function. So in the main update function, and at one point all commands are executed, and this function basically just goes through all. Switches on command ID and finds the command to execute. And you can have multiple of those each frame, it doesn't matter, they will be executed in order. So this the actual code that gets executed after you've clicked right click on this column. And so in the beginning I just extract the exact parameters from which I passed. And this is the place where I actually create a pop-up. And in File Pilot, everything that you create, everything that's visible, like every view, all the panels and pop-ups and command window and sidebar, everything is a view. And for those who've listened Better Software Conference last year, they will know that a view like this is probably encoded as a fetch struct. So this is a big struct that contains pretty much everything that any view can have or need for its to render. And it's actually not pure fetch struct. It's a combination of fetch struct and discriminated union, because at the top there's all the variables that are shared. And in the bottom part, there are stuff that are specific to each view, and those are discriminated based on the view kind. So these are all view kinds that you can have in File Pilot. Yeah. So are people following me up so far, or is this too fast, too slow, too confusing? I don't know. Should I continue?
I think you should continue. For the people later on, there will be a video, so people will be able to like stop and rewatch. For the people live, that's the hardcore audience, so they need to keep up. But also on the YouTube, they can go back.
Okay.
So it should be fine.
So basically, so when this happens, I create a view, and so this is also one of the things that I was talking in presentation. When I create this view, the first thing in that view is arena, and pop-up create will actually call this function, and it will bootstrap itself onto that arena and go from there. And so everything later related to that prog view, to that pop-up, will actually be on this arena. Most of the stuff, not everything, but most of the stuff. And so when the pop-up goes, so when you close the pop-up, like clicking somewhere else, the only thing that I have to do is like clear, destroy this arena. I don't have to go through all the items in the arena to through all the strings and stuff like that. Okay, and so I'm not sure how much I should go through all of the code here. So it's creating a view. Then there are some hard-coded items. Those would be these on top. It's setting labels for them, icons, and section. So section is when you have a horizontal line between items. And at one point we should get to the part where these are rendered, or I should say created. And so that's this part. So yeah, I can probably now watch. So this is the header column kind. This is the enum that stores all the possible values for these columns. And so if I want to add new stuff, I even have a comment here. And the reason why I have comment here is not because I was preparing anything for stream or something like that. It's because this thing is serialized to the disk as integer. So I shouldn't add stuff like in the middle because that would break save for users. So I need to edit like here. So I can just start with that. So I will call this empty because that's the name the user gave it. It looks fine to me. We can add a couple of those. And yeah, I just want to see now if I compile that, will I break somewhere when I open that pop-up? So I will not. Okay. So now I need to see why I'm not seeing these. Probably because I need to add them here. So what I could have done here probably before maybe it wasn't a smart idea to. What I could have done, I could have made compiler determine the size of this array, and in the below that I could have asserted that the array size, array count of label IDs is equal to this count, and so this should now hopefully break when I opened right click and give me like wait, did I run this in? Yeah, I have two debuggers in. So yeah, when I click this, it breaks on that assert, and so this is a nice way for future self to know if I add something here again. That I know it will break here and that I'm missing entries in this array. So this is an array of label IDs, and they point to the language file. So at the moment, file pilot only has single language, and it's English, and it's stored in separate file. And the only reason why I separated that in the beginning is so I could, so it gets easier for me when I need to translate to other languages. So I want to search for header, column, folder, usage, and it's here, and add new entries for that. Header column empty1, and copy this a couple of times. Okay, if I compile that, then this will get generated, and I should be able to use them here. Column empty, empty1. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that. Like it took Vim some time to recognize new definitions. So this is one.
There was like a flicker, like a color flicker, right?
Yeah. It wasn't. It used to wasn't like that when I had like only a couple of thousands of lines. But yeah, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, 3, 4. Okay, I want to see if I will be able to see those now. Okay, I still don't see them. Okay, this is embarrassing.
You want it to be done now? Huh?
No. So let's see what happens. Okay. So File Pilot has a couple of, I call it header column set. And the reason I have these is because not all columns can be used in some folders. For instance, if you go to the root, you will see that not all columns are displayed here. And so I need to have a way which columns are valid for which type of view. And I only have 3 of those now. I have normal, so that would be like a regular folder. I have root, and I have recycle bin. Because, for instance, I don't want to. So this is for recycle bin. I don't want to see like I don't know, original location in other folders because it doesn't make sense. It's something that's specific to recycle bin. So I basically just need to add, probably just add these. I don't know if I could have made it such that this also breaks. But yeah, maybe if I don't know if C can do this, probably not. yeah, I think this is only allowed in C++. So yeah, I think there was a poll about C to C++. So I think that you could do this in C++, and then I could make a similar assert here. But yeah, so I need to add those here. So they should be true in all views, I think, because empties are not specific to anything. Okay, so if I compile that now, maybe we should see something finally. Yay, we see empties. Okay, so
can you click them?
I don't know. Should I try? Yeah, okay, I get the cert. So so it looks like that in this case I was actually more cautious for the future cases. So at some point I hit invalid code path because column kind was not matched, and so this is in this is probably in a render function. So let me try to find that. What's invalid? I think it was here. Let me just check if this is the place.
Because you can quickly compile, you can do that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Imagine now if I needed to do all this stuff, and each time I changed 3 lines of code, I had to wait for 3 minutes. It would be unbearable, I think. Okay, let me try this again. Nope, that's not. Which one is it then? Is it this one? Probably this one. Anyway, I would probably be able to.
Why do you don't? Why is it? You can check the line number, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, I could have checked the line number. But yeah, this is it. Okay, so this is the part where we get a crash. So I need to catch the column kind here. Here it is. And I could do it like this, I guess. So at least now we will not crash, but I want to see what will happen if I. Okay, so I actually got something, which is surprising, and I can move it around. So this is actually already working. Okay. So yeah, this is actually a cool feature, I think, because this gives me. So I can try, like, I can start rectangle selection here now. So I can add multiple of them. Oops. Okay, I got a crash, which is nice. Why did I crash?
Well, it's good enough, no? Right? Like, it has empty column and you can move them around, so we're done?
Yeah, we're done. I mean, we're not done, probably. But yeah, so one of the things which will probably not work now is if I want to try. So if you remember when I started talking about this feature, the main reason why someone suggested this is because they couldn't trigger right-click context menu. And this is also true now, because if wherever I click on this line, I will get selection for that item. And so the consequences of that is that I will not actually get context menu for the background. I will get it for the selected item, which is not what I want. At least not for the empty part. So if I right click on documents, I want to select the documents. But if I right click here, I would probably be more. It would probably be more intuitive if it didn't select the item, I think. And so the reason this happens is because So the way that File Pilot arranges its UI is so it's immediate mode UI, and so when it starts to prepare rendering for this whole file listing, the order in which it declares the item is also the order in which events can be triggered. So if I start rendering and I first declare render code for this file, maybe I should just show it in the code. So this is the function that gets called for each of this line, and what I actually want to do, I want to intercept the input event when I click here, because if nothing gets clicked, for instance, if I click on this chevron, it will pick up UI event. But if I click on part of the UI line and there's nothing there, then actually the background of that item will pick up the event. And you can see that in this function at the bottom of the function, when you get interaction, I query interaction for the whole item block, and that gets called at the bottom of this function. And the reason why it's like that, it's because I want to check if anything inside the item is triggered. If not, then trigger the background item. And so what I actually want, because we didn't add any code here, the UI event gets to this place and it selects the file, the whole file. And this is not what I want. So what I want, I actually want to define this for the empty slot. Does that make any sense?
You want to define this because now it would, like by default, it takes over the click, and you want to make sure
there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing here. I didn't define any UI element that gets rendered here. So there's nothing here, and the event bubbles, not bubbles. It propagates through the hierarchy, and it tries to find the first item that has an event listener on it.
And you want to put something in front of it.
Yeah, I actually want to put it in the place where we here. So I want to put event here so that it doesn't get to this part. So so this is the part where I will start working on UI code, and not sure how this intuitive will be to the people. For those who follows Ryan Fleury, will probably this will probably recognizable. So essentially, in File Pilot, everything that's displayed and rendered is defined in terms of rectangle boxes. So whether it's a button or a text or icon, everything is actually. And I even have just a second. I have somewhere a debug tool for that. I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it. Here it is. This is how it actually looks in the background. So everything is actually just a box. And so this is when I add this function, add block, it's essentially adds a rectangle box in that hierarchy. How that block is laid out, that's the other story. So you have to configure it to have certain width and height and color and stuff like that. So if I just add block here, nothing will probably happen. Just want to make sure. Yeah, nothing will happen. Okay, so I actually want to display it. I just want to see if it's here. So I will make it draw background. So as I said, everything is made of these small blocks, and everything that's complicated in UI is actually composed of smaller pieces of smaller blocks. So to to trigger certain features of UI blocks, you have to pass them flags. What do you want to do with that block? And there are a lot of those flags. So this is the UI layer. If you want to draw a background, a border, a texture, a shadow, a text, icon, then there's certain hover effects and draw effects and stuff like that. If you want to catch interaction input, then you have to define that. Then there's some stuff for animation, for layouting, and that's pretty much it. So what I want to do is I actually want to first I just want to draw background and see if it's there. I need to give it width. I need to give it width. Next ref width. So what this will again, this is something that's more described in articles from Ryan Fleury, but basically when you create a UI block, you don't pass in all the parameters, but you push them into I think he calls them style stacks, something like that. So this will say that this will push preferred width description into a style stack, and so the next item that will call add block will pick up the most recent width definition. And same is true for pretty much everything that's drawn in the UI. So flex is just, or I can use fit, fill. It's the same thing. So this just tells me use all the space in your layouting arrangement you can have. So this should actually display something. I think. Let's see. Yeah, so now I get green boxes, and the reason those are green because I didn't assign any color to it.
That's very smart to have this like a bright color for a default one.
Yeah.
So that you see it.
Yeah. So just for the presentation sake, I can assign. So when I started working on this renderer UI code. At first, I was able to pass in individual colors for each element, and later I decided to propagate it into something more structural. So now the whole UI is using color theme. So, and this is something that's actually exposed in File Palette for those who don't know. So you can actually fork any color theme, and for instance, you can change the color of the text and stuff like that. And so this is just a way to standardize that stuff. Okay, so I just want to see some color ID. I can add maybe button.
You have IDs of the like entities that you have in the, or types of things you can.
So this is just an ID of the color in the color theme, because again, this is all this does is pushes this ID into a color stack. If I were to follow this, it ends up in the macros. But you can see there's a stack. There's a stack in the UI stack. Let me try to find it. Oh, it's in. Render. Where's the stack? Where's the stack? UI stack. I'm not in the right place.
You don't have that many files now.
Oh, here. So these are the property stacks. So this is everything that you can put on top of in the stack, and you can see, yeah, it's like font, colors, flags, layouts, widths, heights, then stuff about textures and stuff like that. And one of the reasons why this is actually very useful is because this type of pushing a value to the stack is only one way to push it to the stack. There's another way, and that is imagine you have more buttons like this, and you know that all these buttons use same color. So now you could actually do something like this. You could say UI colors ID, wrap it like this, and give it like this ID. And now both buttons use that color ID, right? Yeah. Okay, so back to the code. Just want to see if this will change the color.
But Vjekoslav, aren't you worried that your statically allocated arrays will be not enough for the actual number of properties that your program will handle?
No, I'm not. I'm not worried. Okay, we can try maybe drawing, and just to show how flex work here, I can maybe try drawing borders instead. Okay. So for the end result, I don't actually need to render anything. All I need is actually picking up events. So I will not be passing any flags that do drawing. I only want to do input. So in order for a block to receive an input, you need to specify that it can receive mouse events. So that would be like this. Or if you want all mouse events, you can use this one. And this is not enough. I also need, so now I don't need colors ID because it will not be rendered. This is not enough. I also, for any item that needs to interact or be alive through a couple of frames, you actually need to give it identifier. So if you notice, up until now I used the function called addBlock X, and X just serves as a name for something that doesn't have identity. But if I remove that, you will see that I actually need to pass identifier to it. And for those of you who are familiar with maybe Dear I'm GUI or other immediate mode UIs, a lot of those frameworks will try to generate those IDs from the content the UI element is displaying. So, for instance, if you are drawing a text or some kind of text field or something like that, it will actually try to, or if you have a button with a label, it will actually try to generate ID from that label. And I don't know why, but I avoided that from the start. I just wanted to be exact in all places that need identifiers. So I just pass them in like manually. And I have a couple of function helpers, so this is not big of a deal. For instance, you can see it like here.
What happens if you have a duplicate ID?
We can check that out if you want. Just give me a second to see if I have something from key maybe. Yeah, I can use something like this. So entry key is the key of the background item, and what I want to do, I want to create ID that's appended to the ID of the background item, and this is how I create IDs because it's simpler. And so if I put empty here, and if I have multiple empties on the screen, in theory this should be a conflict. So we can try to test that out and see if this creates a conflict. So that's the question you asked. So yeah, you can see I spit out duplicate key.
Okay.
And important to know, like even if UI reports duplicate IDs, it will not crash. What will happen is that only one item will receive input events and the other will be ignored. Not input events, only one item will be actually rendered. And it's the last one, because items in the background, UI items in the background are stored in the hash table. And so if you define a multiple ones, only one will be rendered. Okay, so how I can fix this is I can frame arena. I can add identifier for each empty. I can use maybe column kind. Oops. So for C programmers, this construct should be familiar. So it's basically string format. SF is short for string format. So it takes arena, which will be a temporary arena, which will be used to create this. So it's empty plus some integer, and I use column kind. And so this, in theory, should now. And you can even put this out if it starts looking.
What a clean coder.
Yeah. Okay. And I know that this looks a bit verbose, and it is compared to auto generation of IDs. But if you look at the UI that's being rendered, most of the stuff doesn't need that. Like maybe 80% of UI elements are like anonymous elements that don't care if they have ID or not. They are not animated. They don't need to persist state across the frames, and they don't pick up input events. So this actually served me well, because when I go through my code, I can actually see from the code which elements pick up events, because they will use keys. So this is actually helpful to me. And
so
as
only the ones that persist state, or you need to find them, like reference them somehow for the event's sake or something like that. You need events for IDs for, right?
Yeah. Okay. Everything else will just be recreated each frame. Yeah. And just to see if so there's no duplicate
keys here.
Yeah. Okay.
What happens if you click?
Nothing, because I only I still didn't register for the event. So I only created an element with a key, and what I need now is I actually need to store that block, and I need to fetch interactions for it. This is how it's done. UI interaction, empty or we can do just interaction. So this will try to catch interaction for that block. And so this is UI code.
It will try to fetch from where?
So it will go into UI code, and it will check the state. If this is active interaction, then it will ignore it for this part. If it's not, it will check if it's hot. If it is, it will check all the keys and stuff like that. And if the interaction is hit, it will fill this information for you. And so here I can actually just check if interaction, pressed or down. So if I click here down, I should be able to see this. Let me make this a bit smaller so I can see actually. Okay.
Nice.
Okay, so I've actually so what I've done now, if you look at this, if I try to right click now in the empty part, I will actually not select item. there's a small flicker because when nothing is being clicked, it actually highlights the item. But as soon as I right click or click that part, it's not selecting the item. So what I want to do now, I actually want to execute the same part of the code that gets executed when I right click on empty background. And so I can try to find that code. So this is the function that gets executed for each item. And if I go back and see who calls that, I will see it gets called from this function. And this function actually it prepares everything else for this whole panel. So I can just search for UI interaction here, and I should be able to find it. Oops, I'm not even in the same function anymore. So it's probably this function. Yeah. This is the part of the code that gets triggered. So this is the same logic as here. The list block is the parent block for all these items. All these items, it's the parent block. So if I were to, so this parent block, everything that's behind it, it's parented into that main block, and this happens after all the other inside items have been rendered. So this will only get triggered if none of the items triggered it before. And so what I actually want to do, I just want to call this function and pretend that if I click this part of the item, it's same as if I click the background. So I can just actually try to call this function here and see what happens. It will probably not work because there are maybe some state in this function that depends on some stuff we will see. So I think that I have most of this here. I don't have list block. I can try fetch it. So because it has an ID, I can just get it by ID. UI get block. So this will give me list block. I'm not even sure what's that used for in the function. For some math. Okay, interaction I have. DD interaction I don't have. I can probably just ignore that for now. This is something that's needed when you need to support drag and drop. DD is drag and drop interaction. So I can just zero initialize that and not use it. So let's see what happens now. So if I right click, nothing happens, which is interesting.
Damn it, so close.
Okay, we're done here. Okay, let me see. Why doesn't it trigger? Oh, it's because I'm actually, I was showcasing this. I don't want to put this in if clause. I actually just want to always call it because the function, inside the function itself checks for each state of the interaction. So that's probably why it wasn't triggering. Right click. Oh,
nice, nice.
Okay, now I can't do rect selection for some reason. Almost. Let me check what's happening inside. Rect select. Okay, so rect selection. It looks like that rect selection is not checking for the current interaction for some reason. So maybe if I just do this is active interaction, this should be working. This requires a key. Yeah, it works now.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, so this is actually...
now you need to stop for a celebration, okay? This is... Congrats.
This is actually very, very cool idea. I don't know what the audience thinks about this, but I actually kind of like this solution.
There were people suggesting increasing margins so that you have this void space, empty space from the margin. It's
which margin? You mean like the left ones?
Either left ones or maybe something adding between the columns. I'm not sure, but there was some.
But the nice thing about this feature is that I should just probably add at some point the ability to move this on the left from the name column. For now, the name column is hard-coded to be the leftmost column. I'm not sure why, because there are a lot of special things that are being rendered here. For instance, if you are using recents and sorting them and stuff like that, there are some stuff that... but imagine that you can move this empty column on the left. So this would just give you ability to create your own margin, right?
Yeah.
So it's even better than producing my own margin, because I give the user the ability to customize it for themselves. And the same is true for the right margin, right? So I can now right click here, which is actually kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
You told me in the beginning that you don't really recall some of the parts of the code base because it's too big, and it didn't seem like that. You were very quick to.
I mean, it's easy to go once you have like the first point of contact. So I needed to find when I found where the pop-up is found, it's easier afterwards. But I didn't remember the name of the pop-up. So the pop-up had a name, the ID, and I couldn't remember that. It was like maybe if I can't remember it now. So I'm just gonna see it like this. So it's, I don't know which part should I look. Now when you look at it, it's not so many lines of code of change.
Yeah, but I needed to find them, the places where they are in huge code base that you have. And then also, because you already have all the building blocks in place, it's way easier to do it than just do it randomly.
So this ID, the ID of the pop-up, I don't know, I don't remember this stuff. So the easiest way to find this pop-up was just follow the input events. Yeah.
Nice. So I want to highlight a couple of things. First of all, just because this project compiles in 3 seconds, you pretty much can test every time you think, actually, I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing here right now and whether this will work and how it will happen. I just press a button and you're there. Second of all, you have a inbuilt compile, wait 3 seconds, alt tab, up arrow, route debugger, pum, and you're already there, right? What is the key sequence to that you do?
Sequence for what? For
because you're compiling in Vim, and then you switch to route debugger, right?
Yeah, I mean it's just Control B for build, and in red debugger it's F5, I think. Is it F5? Yeah, F5.
On your
F5.
bamboo keyboard.
No, it's not Bamboo keyboard anymore. It's I've changed my keyboard.
Oh, yeah. Now you need to show it.
Okay.
Is it possible to show it?
I mean, just a second. I need to plug it off. I don't know if is this visible.
Nice.
It's Molander. I think it's called Molander. Yeah. It's a fairly known keyboard in this space. It's not. It's not. Yeah, it's not new keyboard.
Circles.
In those circles, yeah. It's not new keyboard. It's maybe 5-6 years old keyboard at this point. I mean, not this one, but the model is 5 years old. But I still have my bamboo keyboard somewhere here.
Where?
So, this is my old keyboard, which I have in my avatar.
Yeah.
And this was actually handmade in Poland.
Yes.
By Wookash.
No, that's not true.
This is actually a great keyboard. It's made out of bamboo.
Chad is right. You have a keyboard that is broken. It's in 2 parts now, so you should probably replace it and fix it.
This is actually something. This is one of the biggest obstacles for me when I was buying new keyboard. I was trying to find a split keyboard that was in one piece, like this one, right? And after using Moonlander for a year now, and when I tried to type on this, it feels really, really awkward because my shoulders have gotten used to be like in this position instead of this. So it's really much better for from the ergonomy perspective. Yeah.
Okay. Coming back to the code, I think we can spend a little bit of time going through, because we just skimmed through some of the parts that I think it would be interesting to talk about. If people in the chat have questions, then you can use this link to ask them, or you can vote for the questions that are already there. I'm pasting the link in the chat. And Vjekoslav, do you want to have like 5-minute break after speed running the feature?
No, I'm actually fine. I will actually use this time to read the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then can I start off with one question, like a high-level one? You mentioned that the commands are being submitted at the end of the frame.
Yeah.
Right?
Actually, it's. I'm not sure if it's at the end of the frame or the beginning of the next one. I think it's actually at the beginning of the next one. But yeah, I mean, it's not inside the render code. That's the important part. And this is an advice I picked up from Ran Fleury early on, because it gets you out of the nasty business of handling events directly inside the render code. It can produce really types of bugs that are not easy to debug later.
So what is the frame structure?
So frame structure is I can show you actually. So frame structure is reset all variables from input and stuff like that. So at the beginning you process all the hotkeys and text input. After that, yeah. So the reason why commands are not at the end of the frame but the beginning of the next frames is because at the beginning of the next frame, when you process all the hotkeys, even those hotkeys produce commands. So those will actually get queued in the same array. So if you when you get to this point, all the commands that were produced both from the UI and from the hotkeys will get executed at the same time. So this is the input part, the command part, and then this is just general update logic. So all these functions are pretty much calling update on some subsystem of the program. So updating the state after the input and commands, and after I updated the state, I render it, and that's pretty much it. Like that's the high level overview of. Here's the rendering part.
So it's UI events, update state, render, and UI events are actually submitting a command, not immediately being resolved.
Yeah, and same is true for the for the hotkeys. And the reason why this is nice, because now everything flows through the same code path. And yeah, you want to have as less code paths as possible.
Everything flows through the same code path. What do you... everything meaning what? The hotkeys and input events?
Yeah, that means if you, for instance, if you have like, if you want to click this icon and it opens a pop-up, so you can either open that pop-up by clicking on it, or you can use Alt-T.
Yes.
And if both hotkey and the click pushes the command, they can actually push the same command.
Yes.
So the resolvement for the opening that pop-up goes through the same code path, and that's nice.
Okay. But this requires you to have every action here called command be serialized, right? So you pretty much have a strong interface of here's something that happens, and you record a command which is like a type, and then data, and then
it's not a type. It's just it's a type. It's a kind. Command is just
like a enum.
Just a second. It's this. Yeah. It's an enum ID and params, right? So yeah, it does need serialization. Yeah.
Okay.
But for instance, one nice thing about this is you can see how this can easily be used for replaying input, for instance. Imagine like if everything that you do in through UI is serialized, you can actually store that serial state and replay it later, and everything should work. I haven't used this. No, I haven't used it because I didn't need it. But at one point, I'll probably use it just to like maybe stress test UI or something like that.
And this leads into one of the chat questions. Do you have any testing framework and testing ability? How does it look like for you?
I do, but they are not like how should I say? They are not like industry based. I'm not writing like test first and then code. So a lot of stuff in file palette is tied to the UI, and it's kind of hard to write unit tests for the UI. What I do have unit tests for is like resolvement of file paths before they are passed to the file system, because that's the only part which, if I mess up, users could like lose files or something like that, which thanks to God hasn't happened so far. But yeah, I do want to add more tests. What I have right now is I have a huge list of test cases written down in Obsidian, and before every bigger release, I just go manually through all of them. It's not ideal, but I don't do that often. Because a lot of times when you change some part of the system, it's not like everything else will break. So I don't have to do this for every tiny revision of the program. But in the future, I definitely want to maybe systemize this a bit more. I just haven't had time for that.
All right. So this. What about static asserts? You had an assert somewhere in the code we added as part of the feature to the array. Like, how does it work? Given that C, what version of C this is?
This is, I believe, C9. Give me a second. Where is it? I think it's C11. C11. Yeah.
Okay, so your
and
assertion...
the only reason why I actually use C11 was, as opposed to C99, was anonymous unions. That's a big deal for me. I really like that. So, for instance, if you can do this stuff, which I like. So when you define a vector, you can use either of these, and it just works. And I don't think you can do that in C99, if I remember correctly. Also, generics are nice for some things. for instance, this is nice. For instance, when you are building a string, wait a second. When you're building a string for a string builder, it's very nice that you can just push arena builder and any construct that returns the string, and this will just resolve it. So I don't have to remember these special suffixes for each type. So if I don't have to call build i32 to append integer, I can just call this with an integer and it works. So I don't use this in many places, but for stuff like this, it's very convenient. And I don't know if there's anything else that was specific in C11 that was important for me, but anonymous unions were the biggest deal, I think.
Did I see correctly that your assert is evaluating expression to 0 and comparing evaluating expression and comparing it to 0?
Yeah, I don't know where I've picked this up. It's from somewhere. It's not like it's important because it's only triggered in the debug build. So yeah.
Okay. Nice. If you zoom out high level, what is the part of this code base or like a system that you're the most proud of? Something that you like, damn it, this works so good.
I don't know. I've been doing this for almost 5 years now. And I don't know. I if I'm being very critic about myself, it's not like I'm super proud of any of it. I don't know. It's maybe I'm just staring too long at it, and there are a lot of things that I would probably improve, and I will in the future. I keep a lot of notes aside when I see discussion with Casey or Ryan or Ginger Bill and stuff like that. So I have a lot of stuff that I would improve in the future with respect to threading and arrays, indices, a lot of stuff. Probably containers. I would maybe move away a bit from macros, more in direction of generating the code myself and stuff like that.
Why?
I don't know. It's not like this is bad, but if I would generate code myself for things like map, hash tables or maps, I think that I would be able to make a bit better API, because at the moment, because I'm trying to achieve generics through macros, and that has certain limitations. So API is not as pretty as I would like. Just purely talking from coming from other languages where you don't have this. I mean, the macros in the end generate the code in the background. So why not have it yourself? But I just didn't have time for that. Yeah. I know. UI is probably, if I had to like pick one thing, it would probably be the UI. But yeah, I've been using it for so long now that it's not anything special to me anymore.
You got used to it because you spend like 10 hours a day staring at this code base. So
yeah. And I've rewritten UI at least 3 times during this project.
Like entirely?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think I touched on this in my presentation, but because when I started, when you're doing everything from scratch, you have to start from something. It's not like when you're starting from nothing, it's not like you can write the best UI system ever, because you don't have other components. So you have to build something so you can bootstrap yourself into doing other parts so you can improve on UI later. And UI is not the only place where I did that, but yeah. That's why I said it's a bit rough when you start it, but after a certain point, after a certain threshold, it becomes really enjoyable. And not only that, it's also you learn a lot of stuff along the way, and you own the code base and you know every part of it. You don't remember every part of it, but you know it. Yeah.
Okay. I'm taking a look at the questions list.
Has Vjekoslav tried Odin? I have not. I have not tried Odin. I've looked at it.
Why?
Because it's not version 1. I don't know. Maybe at some point I will.
Isn't
but
it?
Is it?
I said, isn't it? And then I'm Googling.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But even if it were, I don't know. At this point, probably not. If I didn't have any code base now, I might consider using it. But also the reason why it would not be the best fit for FilePilot is because I do a lot of intersection with platform APIs. And so even if I used Odin, I would have to write a lot of wrappers in C anyway. So I would be like stuck in between. I would have to write a lot of C code, C wrapper code to communicate with Odin. But yeah, in general, Odin does look like improved version of C to me. It looks like a cleaned up version of C.
Any other programming languages that you would look to if you were switching away from C? Or is it that C is your homeland?
So I'm currently in Jai beta, but I still haven't tried it. I asked John for permission and I still haven't tried, but I will. John, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, I will try it. So I don't know if there's any other language. I'm not that interested in Rust for obvious reasons, because I think it improves. I don't think it solves problems that I have. It's not like I'm saying I don't have problems. It's just it doesn't solve problems that I have. Other languages, I don't know which other languages is there that are low level, and
Zig.
Yeah, Zig. I must be honest, I haven't looked into it.
C++, there's a cool language. It's an improved version of C.
C++ is, I think I started with C++, and at some point I realized I don't use most of the features, and so I just I decided to use C only as a natural barrier of what I can use and not use, because I think it's easy to.
You started with C++ for FilePilot, or
I think if I remember correctly, yeah, but for a very short period. Yeah. Once you learn a couple of tricks like fetch structs, so I showed in product. So I think I showed ProcView. So this is one fetch struct. The other fetch struct similar to this is like pop-up item. So pretty much any pop-up you can have in the game, in the program, goes to this. And the same is true for UI block that we were using. So the UI layer is composed of fetch structs. So yeah, once you get used to this concept, it's so easy to write code. It's not a big deal. It's not like I need inheritance or stuff like that. Yeah.
We have a couple of technical questions. How did you implement prog cmd function where you can chain commands line L32 enum, etc.?
Okay, I knew that someone will notice this. It's probably the only place in my code base where I try to do something, I don't know, exotic, for, if you will. It's not exotic. It's a pattern with a name. I think it's called a builder pattern where you chain call to each function, and because each function returns the object on which you invoke the function, you can do that.
Design patterns.
Yeah,
let's go.
It's horrible. Yeah. So it's you start with this function, and it returns this object, and it has like function pointers to these functions, And so when you do proximity, this function returns CMD builder, which has this function, so you can call any function on it, and that function as well will return it.
Yeah, often people name the functions with something. So you have like a comment with this set to that, with this set to that, and you change the with functions, right? Here you don't have with, you have...
Yeah, I don't know. It's just... Yeah. I don't know why I've done that. It looked like nice syntax to me. I don't know. I hope that some people who watch this will not be disappointed.
Now
I promise this is I promise this is the only place in my code base where I do like this stuff, like store function pointers to this extent. This is basically a dispatch table.
How does the immediate UI and the persistent data work in conjunction? What does it decide that the UI block doesn't exist anymore?
The identifiers. So when you add a block, from key, this will actually try to find the block, call the function. Just a second, let me. This will call the function get the block with a key, and it will search through a hash table. It will like get the slot and hash slot, and it will find the block. And so if the block doesn't have a key, it will just create a new block each time. It will so for any block, when you call this the first time, it will end up here. And for other blocks, if you call them in each frame, you will like just hit the hash table. And if you call UI block UI add block X, you will just create block each new frame, and these blocks get reused each frame. It's not like I'm creating a ton of blocks; they get reused. I think that this is the code structure that I showed in my presentation as well.
Maybe I missed that, but how are they deleted then? Because this is how they are created, where they have an identifier and not they're kept in hash map.
They are deleted in separate function probably. And
but based on what is the decision? How do you take the decision to delete them? So there was like a point of contention between Ryan and Anton at some of the earlier podcasts.
Oh, I hope I will not like. Let me. I don't actually remember. Evict all blocks. So it looks like that if you don't use it for one frame, they get evicted. I'm not doing anything smart.
Okay. I will tell this to Ryan. I will forward this to Ryan.
So on which side am I now? On the Ryan side or Anton's side?
There was a discussion between them when you have an animation, for example. How do you know that the animation ended? And honestly, I don't remember the outcome and who was on which side and how to implement it. But there is a special 30-minute video when after Ryan was watching the UI programming episode, and he was riled up about this because somebody said it doesn't work for deleting. And he came on after the show, and there was an additional segment, 30 minutes discussing this exact thing. Now nice. I need to rediscover this and rewatch that.
Yeah.
But this seems like way simpler solution that they were discussing.
As I said, I'm not doing. At one point, there was some complication in this part of the code because I was trying to animate the blocks, but after their existence. For instance, if you wanted to have animations of the stuff that goes that disappears from the UI, and I wanted to encode that in the UI system, and it proved like a really challenging problem for me. I had a solution at one point, but it had some bugs and I deleted it. So if I want to animate something like a dead animation, like fade off animations, I will just do it in the usage code. It's much simpler that way. It's more code, but the complexity that I had to push into my core layer was just like it was too much. So I decided to keep it more simple.
So you animate in the usage, and then at the end of the animation you say bye bye.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you show how to change the cursor type to indicate ready, of right click on the empty space, or change border?
Let me just try to find that question. Change the cursor type to indicate ready. You mean here? I assume they want me to...
Maybe to change the cursor here, but to what?
For that, for instance, I'm not sure. I can try to work on that, but I'm not sure if I understand. Again, so I need to find that part now. What was the name? We need to find this now. Empty.
Somewhere near the empty one, empty two, right?
Right. I think you can pass some params to this, if I remember correctly. Not sure. If the only thing they wanted is like change the mouse cursor, I think you can do this here. I'm not sure. I need to remember. Cursor. Right. For instance, how to get this. Oh, here it is. So you just push it to the stack, property stack. So this will say, so this works the same way like everything else. For the next interaction, use different cursor if you trigger that interaction. And so this should, in theory, show different cursor. Whoops. Yeah, you can see like the cursor changed. I'm not sure if this is what they wanted or...
I think that's fine. I think we can move forward. There is a question about first commits to FilePilot repository.
Why?
I don't know why. I don't know why. It's like, can you show? I think we can have like a bit of a more of a discussion about like what did you start with? Like what were the beginnings of FilePilot?
So I'm not sure if this is the actual start, because I'm not sure if I used other VCS. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But yeah, as you can see, like I worked on NTFS stuff. I think I also mentioned that in my presentation. So prior to even beginning on working the UI and everything else, I actually experimented with reading NTFS entries from the disk directly. And I have code for that, but it's still not enabled. I'm not sure what a user is searching for, but yeah, it's also not like I'm writing super descriptive messages. So it's not like. So in the beginning, I worked a lot of threading API. I don't know. Multiple panels, key bindings, I don't know, sorting, filtering. This is also something so one of the first things that I try to do, like in a very performant way, was even before I had rich UI, I wanted to see how long it takes to index the whole disk and to perform filter operations on it, because I just wanted to see how fast this can be. And I'm not saying I'm the fastest in the world. I can probably do much smarter things, but I'm fast enough to notice the difference. Yeah. I don't know. Working on different icon sizes. There's actually a good video I posted. Time lapse. So for user interested in this, you can watch this video. It's from the end of 2022, but it goes basically through my first year of work in how the
Disk Voyager.
Yeah, it was called Disk Voyager then. But you can see like how it looked in the beginning. It looked very, very bare. Yeah. If you're interested.
It already had a preview back then.
Yeah. But it was ugly. Because, for instance, this was using different version of UI that I'm using today. But yeah.
Different version meaning what?
Different code to build UI.
Okay, so maybe can you tell us what were the references for your work? You mentioned a couple of times Ryan's blog, Digital Grove. What
you mean like from the technical standpoint or like the file managers?
Both. Like where did you get information and knowledge from how to build it, like technically, and how should it look like, how should it improve? Like you iterated on this product, like Disk Voyager looked differently and you immediately say it's ugly. Now it's better. So like where did you come up and how did you come up with it?
So the original spark came from Handmade Hero. I mentioned that a couple of times already. And I think I watched it maybe up until 300 episodes, something like that. And I was using File Manager as a toy project to experiment with stuff that I had learned in Handmade Hero. And later Ryan came with his awesome blog series where he solidified a lot of that stuff that he had also learned. And I don't know. I think those are the two primary sources. Other than that, it was like through pure experimentation and learning and stuff like that. And as for file managers, this is just something that I started using at some point in my life. I remember when I first time heard about Total Commander. We were visiting offices of Cro Team in Croatia. I don't know if you probably heard of it. Yeah.
They made Talos Principle and Serious Sam.
Yeah. And I remember when
sixth episode of the podcast is with Vjekoslav from Cro Team.
Yeah. So this is the first time I saw someone using a different file manager. Up until that point, I wasn't even aware there are different file managers. So this is just the point in time when I was actually interested in trying all file manager. So yeah, and through the years I used mostly Total Commander and some others, and I used my own Disk Voyager as a project for experimentation, and so at one point I just decided to merge those two and create something new. Yeah.
And for the product, like visualizations and like product directions, and at some point you started to move towards like an actual file explorer from a thing that had a window and showed files, right? Then did you like cross-examine all the other
Yeah,
file managers and.
Yes, I actually did this at the beginning of the before I even started working programming on the file pilot. I actually went through all file managers and composed a list of features from all of those, and which parts I liked and didn't like, or which parts I would change. And the nice thing about file manager in general for me was that it actually doesn't have a lot of UI if you think about it. Unless you intentionally put it there. But the nice thing about it is that I don't have to be like a brilliant UI designer to create UI for file manager, because it's so simple. It's basically displaying file list. And this is something I just wanted to keep from the beginning. I wanted something that looks really simple, so that when a new user opens it, it looks like it doesn't frighten them. Because if you open something like, I don't want to name other file managers, but if you open most of them, like, you will have 3 times more UI than File Explorer has, which is terrifying for a lot of users, and they don't want to deal with it. And I can understand, because file managers, for the most time, it only displays files, and you just want to find files. You don't want to play in the UI. Yeah.
All right, then to close it out, what is the current state of File Pilot? How the situation looks like? It's still available in free beta. Is it gonna be changed soon-ish? What's the roadmap? What's the plan?
It's still available in the beta, and you can actually look at the roadmap, and I can say that I'm already lagging behind. So these features were supposed to be done by the end of March, and I'm still working on some of them. So I'm already lagging behind with a couple of features, but my original plan was to push for version 1 by the end of June. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that. Probably not, unless I kick some of this out, which I really don't want to. So these are the features that I consider critical to be in the version 1, and it's also the features that most users were requesting on my Discord servers or emails. So I don't know, tree view, which is now inside, Miller columns, group by, better searching, undo redo. I need to tighten up network shares and stuff like that. Unicode support is probably the biggest one, and it's the one I'm leaving for the end, because it's gonna last. And yeah, and finally, I want to try put up some manual for new people. So yeah, there's a lot of work, but yeah, I at least have 2 or 3 months of work before version 1.
Nice.
But yeah, if you want to support me, you can go to the pricing page, and you can pre-order, and the license will start if you purchase the first license, which has 1 year of updates. Those will actually those will actually be valid after the version 1 is out, not in the meantime.
What? That's crazy.
It's not crazy. I mean,
that's crazy. Low pricing. You were discussing this high pricing.
Oh.
It's like, come on.
Yeah.
So it means that if you buy a license now, you have all of the updates until 1.0 whenever it happens, plus 1 year.
Yeah, if you buy essential.
Wild.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, where can people follow your work?
So I don't have any official blog. I have a Twitter account where I will occasionally post something about C. I don't know. I have a Discord server.
Rage baity.
I have a Discord server which you can also find here, I think. And that's pretty much it. I don't have, as I said, I don't have like official blog site or something.
You have a Discord server for a lot of the File Pilot enjoyers to request new features, on cry about features that are not there and be annoying, and an X where people can follow your work and should, because you announce there new things, and also are making great entertainment / technical content every now and then.
Yeah, and if you don't follow on Twitter or Discord, you can join our mailing list. I usually dispatch email once or twice a year, so I'm not spamming.
And right above, if you scroll up just a tiny bit, there is a Better Software Conference talk by Vjekoslav.
Oh, who's there? Oh, it's me. Yeah. Yeah.
Where you walk through your core layer of FilePilot, a very low level, way lower level than we have done today in terms of how the memory allocation work, how arenas working, and what are the types of arenas and what do you do for certain situations with memory, how to handle the state, and all sorts of cool things like that.
Yeah, and there are other really, really good videos here. You should watch them all.
Oh, you're top 2. Okay. Interesting.
Yes, I'm only 10 times lower than Casey.
Always find something negative. Come on, man. All right. Thank you, everybody who tuned in. This will be available now in this unedited format for members. Thank you for the members who joined during the stream after seeing wild FilePilot Codebase. And the edited version will be out in a couple of weeks. I think that's it. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks. See you guys.